What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you're enjoying your Friday morning so far. Thank God it is Friday. We have a major winter storm that's going to be moving into areas. It's already starting to move into areas right now in the Midwest, but it's going to be dipping down into the southeast and the mid-Atlantic, then northeast. It's going to be a significant winter storm, ice storm potential with this. And yeah, we got a good bit to talk about. Very detailed video tonight. We're gonna break down a lot of things, just like we have been in all the evening videos. So appreciate the support. If you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Consider liking the video if you like it. The growth has been ridiculous, and it's been very hard to keep up with, and I haven't been able to answer all the comments from overnight, and I promise I'll get back to you guys. One of the things I take pride in is answering every single comment if it's a question. I never want to get too big to the point where I can't do that. I love you guys so much. You guys have helped me. And just thank you. I don't want to ramble on here. I know most people click on this video to talk about the weather, but thank you all. Appreciate it. Hit me up on Twitter. Very active. Facebook, very active. Trying to get the 10K likes on Facebook. I'm around 3K right now. That's a big goal for me this year also. Thank you all for the amazing support. Really appreciate it. Really, guys. It's almost just, it doesn't feel realistic. It really doesn't. So here we go. Winter storm warnings obviously up for the areas that we've been talking about that had the most confidence here in the Midwest, areas of the western Ohio Valley. This includes areas of Illinois, so watch out, Illinois. Missouri, there is a weird spot right here that a lot of people are wondering about as this low pressure kind of transfers energy. So lack of winter weather advisories or watches or warnings in this area and kind of in the Quad States area. But just south of this could really have a deformation band. Winter storm watches stretching from northern Arkansas almost through the entire state of Tennessee. And I think these areas right in the valleys are going to get winter storm watches too. And I have a lot of people who comment from those areas and talk about how y'all get kind of screwed all the time. But I think y'all are going to get some back-end snow from this, and it might surprise people. Check it out, South Carolina, the Carolinas. Where I live in central South Carolina, guys, we have no winter storm watch, and it's looking more like kind of like a ice to rain kind of deal. It looks like we might whiff down here. Is what it is, but I'm here to talk about everybody, not about just my location. So winter storm watch is stretching the entire state of West Virginia is under a winter storm watch, but anywhere in this kind of blue shade area right here is under a winter storm watch. So we're going to switch this video up a little bit. We're starting to get into short range models. I'm going to show you more of that. We're going to take a look at a GFS and a Euro also, but we're going to really start to kind of take a look at these short range models. So it's the latest 3KM. It is in range for, I would say, a lot of the storm. But here we go. This is around 11 a.m. starting up. Heavier snow moving through Iowa. Could get pretty intense in Iowa for several hours. And then it dips down to Missouri. Heck, even areas of Kansas, eastern Kansas could get some snow. If the NAM is correct, the majority of Illinois sees some snow, especially some heavier snow in areas of western Illinois. This continues to sink south. And then I believe certain areas right in here, and I'll get a little bit closer here, might kind of get into a zone where there's like maybe a dry slot, or just where the energy is transferring closer to the south. But heavier snow breaking out over northern Arkansas, the Ozarks area. There's going to be a heavier band that sets up here where these winter storm watches is. This is not going to be a huge long storm for you guys in Arkansas, the Mid-South, but especially Arkansas. But when it does snow, it's going to snow very hard. This continues to go. Check out this low pressure. Check out this line of storms. There's actually a marginal risk of storms here in Florida. Watch this also. Sometimes when you have a system like this in Miller B, sometimes these storms can rob moisture up here, and you can have dry slots and drier areas where areas don't fill in as well with the precipitation. That could rob some people of their snowfall totals and ice totals and sleet totals and so forth. Latest NAM really pivots this upper level energy, this heavy snow over Tennessee. And this is, if you don't know what time we're at, this is the time frame right here. This is Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in Central Standard Time, back this up an hour. I'm trying to get better with talking about time frames. It's really hard to edit time frames into videos just constantly. That would make these videos take about 1,000 times longer to make. And this is just not my full-time job right now, guys. It's very hard to do all that. But hopefully in the future, I'm gonna be able to get to the point where I can do a lot more stuff for you guys. But heavier snow. This is even showing about 80% of the state seeing snow in Mississippi. Watch out, Alabama. Latest NAM wants to hit you guys hard. I will mention the NAM sometimes is not correct, just like any other model. But back it up here. This is around 7 a.m. freezing. Well, this is around 4 to 5 a.m. Freezing rain beginning to work its way into the Midlands of South Carolina per the latest NAM. The purple is the sleet. I'm telling you, someone's going to get hit hard with sleet. Sleet's not bad on trees and stuff because it just bounces and pings off things. But on the roads, sleet is worse than snow, in my opinion. And you just need to watch out. Whoever gets throttled with some sleet, there's going to be a corridor around 85 that really gets heavy sleet. But look at this heavy snow here. Watch out for this dry slot. Watch out. I'm telling you, someone's going to get robbed of moisture and someone's going to be very upset. But as we get into about late morning, it wants to say around, most of the central Midlands, it starts to let go of that freezing rain. But just north in the northern Midlands of South Carolina into the Piedmont of North Carolina, this is going to be a nasty ice storm, very nasty ice storm. Look at this heavy snow continuing. And I think Atlanta is going to see a lot of snow showers throughout the day Sunday that maybe could add up a little bit. Someone's going to get a surprise in these areas. These snow showers could stretch as far south as maybe central and southern areas of Alabama and Georgia. I don't think it's going to get in this area of Georgia, but usually in setups like this, some people overachieve and maybe see some snow normally as this system pulls away that normally doesn't see it. This is the last frame of the NAM. We can't go out any further, but this is pumping out a significant storm. The purple's the sleet. The blue's obviously the heavy snow. And this band right here, I'm telling you guys, I know I've been mentioning it 100 times in the last 2 videos. Someone is going to get rocked right here with some heavy snow in Tennessee and potentially areas of northern Alabama, Mississippi maybe, and then maybe areas of Kentucky. But someone is going to get dry slotted here. I'm really worried about that for someone. But we kind of have to look at the Euro now the rest of the way. I'm just going to choose the Euro because it's just, for me, it's a more reliable model. But shows this freezing rain. This is a nasty area of ice, but this is snow moving into Virginia as we get into the afternoon hours of Sunday and late morning. A nice area of snow breaking out into Washington, D.C. It quickly goes to rain. And then for folks in the Delmarva, it looks to be mainly rain, but some areas, especially the northern Delmarva area, can start out as some wintry weather, but this is not going to be an impactful winter weather event for you guys. But the winds could be bad. Stay tuned. I'm going to talk a little bit about the winds at the very end of this video because these can be dangerous. Very impactful winter storm, basically to the northwest flank of this system, which is normal for any system that has cold air on top. This moves through. This is not going to be an I-95 corridor storm. It really isn't. The low pressure just wants to plow right into the mid-Atlantic and northeast. And, we've been talking about that for a while. And it really has not trended away from that. We continue to go further up. And, this even brings rain up into Vermont and New Hampshire. This is going to be an event where the southern areas of the lower 48 is going to get more snow than the northeast. It's just one of those events here. I want to quickly mention, guys, and just in the middle of this video, the pattern after this storm is phenomenal for everybody, especially the South. I really think that we're going to have another threat here within another, I would say, 7 to 10 days after the storm. I'll leave it at that, and we'll get detailed on that after the storm. But this is predicted snowfall totals. If I get you guys cut off up here, I am sorry, but, this is kind of ongoing event for you guys now. I'm really focusing areas further south, but I feel like this is a reliable model to use. And I really think these totals right here are underdone. But in Tennessee, I really think y'all could see more snow than this, than 3 to 4 inches. I really do. There's going to be an area in Arkansas that sees several inches of snow. But look at the snow trying to show up for areas of Mississippi. Not just northern Mississippi, but maybe central, maybe areas of southern Mississippi. There's a little bit of dusting showing up in Alabama. Atlanta, it's throwing y'all a bone, maybe a ½ inch to 1.5 inches of snow. But this is when the heavier stuff sets up. A lot of this stuff might be sleet right here, but watch out. Watch out here in upstate South Carolina, in the Piedmont, North Carolina, even the Triad, even parts of the Triangle, North Carolina. This is going to be a disruptive storm for these guys right in here. The reason I say is because you're mixing sleet with ice. It's going to get combated. It's going to be one of those situations where you get a thumping of snow and then sleet, and then a freezing rain just puts a coating on that, and it's going to look like an ice skating rink out there. We've had many storms like that here in central South Carolina. The latest one we had was 2014, February. It was a wild storm. I learned a lot off that storm, and it was great forecasting and checking out. But moving a little further up, the Mid-Atlantic, it's pretty cut and dry right here for you guys up here. You're going to get hit with a significant winter storm. Nothing crazy or unheard of, but some areas could see well over a foot in these areas, just depending on where you are. West Virginia is going to be a hard-hit area. Western Virginia is. There's going to be a sharp cutoff somewhere in central Virginia, and where that is, I think like Roanoke is probably going to get maybe a quick inch of snow, maybe. But areas of far southeastern Virginia, most of the Delmarva area, and then southern New Jersey. It's just going to kind of whiff with this. I really think they are. But we'll see. Big thing is, and I'll say it again, 10 minutes deep into the video, and we're just now talking about ice, and most people have clicked off the video, and this is the most dangerous part of the storm. Some of these totals are probably underdone. I want to mention the winds will be cranking in this storm. This might help initially prevent ice accumulations from really adding up. I mentioned last night, it's like putting water in a cup, maybe an inch of water in a cup. It's 25 degrees outside. Eventually it's going to freeze, right? But it's not going to freeze if you keep shaking it back and forth. And that's what winds are going to do to trees and things like that. So we'll see how that works. But, showing anywhere from 1/10 to 1/15 of an inch of ice in the central Midlands. But there's going to be a big corridor right in here in the northern Midlands, the Piedmont, maybe the areas of the PD of South Carolina. Could get heavy ice. Now, this shows Charlotte not getting as much ice, but I think Charlotte could get easily a 1/4 inch of ice. I really think y'all could. This is the EPS ensembles. We've seen this before. Look at this jackpot area showing up in Tennessee. Nice area showing up. 5-inch mean in Memphis. Not 7-inch mean of snow in Nashville. Decent in the northern areas of Alabama, Mississippi. Northeast Georgia is going to get hit hard. I haven't specifically mentioned y'all much, but 7 inches. Greenville, Spartanburg, 11 inches showing up. And Asheville, which I think will be mainly snow, 3-inch mean in Charlotte, 8-inch Hickory, 2-inch Raleigh, Danville, I think that's Danville, 6 inches. We'll see. It's going to be a tough area to forecast for sleet and snow totals in this area. This is just your classic headache of a forecast for these meteorologists. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm just a weather enthusiast, and I've been self-taught, and I've learned off meteorologists, and I'm blessed to know what I know. But here's the RAP model, the RAP model. This is used by the National Weather Service a lot. I see them mention it in their discussions quite often. So it's a respectable model, but it's in range. The long range goes out to 51 hours, but it's a pretty icy lick, an icy look showing up early Sunday morning for areas of central South Carolina. The purple is more so sleet. A nice thumping of snow for upstate South Carolina, but this is as far as it goes. Notice the sleets really close to areas of Asheville, but if you notice, the northern extent of the precipitation is not as north. I think that's a wild card here, but I think most guidance has, if anything, it's always going to go northwest, guys. You rarely see things shift southeast at the last second. It's always northwest, so I'll mention that. But that is that deformation band that we're talking about. And chances are some of these areas in green are snow. Upper level energy is wild, guys. What happens is when you have upper level energy, the atmosphere aloft changes, and you get cold air aloft at all levels of the atmosphere. So it could be 38, 37, 36 degrees and be absolutely unloading wet snowflakes the size of $quarter, and that's because aloft, cold air is moved in. Aloft meaning above our atmosphere, several thousand feet up in the air. So it's well below 32 degrees, and it doesn't really have a chance to melt if the precipitation is falling fast enough. So it's falling in the form of heavy snow, and that can actually cool the temperatures at the surface even more, and that's how you get rapid accumulation and those snowflakes the size of your hand, basically. And I think that's going to happen somewhere in these areas as we get into Sunday. I really do. You're going to see some crazy pictures. So let's go over some National Weather Service really quick, and we're going to wrap this up. Nashville calling for 4 to 5 inches. I think that's a good total to start out with, but notice these guys out east of Nashville and the Plateau, even more, half a foot showing up. It's going to be a nice event for you guys. You guys just got 6 to 8 inches of snow last week. Going to be a nice event. We'll take a look at Columbia. I'm sorry I can't make this graphic much bigger. And this is from yesterday evening, so this could change. Columbia, anywhere from 1/10 to 1/4 inch of ice showing up here. I think that might be a little much, but I think this is because basically they haven't updated the totals. And this is right on the fringe of maybe just 1/10 of the inch. So showing maybe an inch or so in the northern Midlands. I think maybe that'll be in the form of snow or sleet. Raleigh, we'll take a look at Raleigh. Raleigh will be an interesting area because I really think that y'all could see some significant ice in Raleigh. It's actually trending a little better for you guys as the axis of the CAD is kind of enhanced in this area. But Raleigh, maybe an inch, maybe 2. But I think Raleigh, the big thing you need to watch out for Raleigh as we switch panels here is ice. Y'all could get maybe 1/10 to 1/4 inch of ice. And this corridor showing up right here is dangerous. This stretches all the way through the northern Midlands and upstate of South Carolina, where you get a quarter inch to half an inch of ice. Once you get a half an inch of ice, guys, that starts to become a significant ice storm. National Weather Service in Roanoke. It's really just showing graphics here, but it's showing the threat risk being extreme in Roanoke. That's a threat risk that they use. So it's going to be bad. It's going to be a very impactful storm. It's just not an all snow event. I want to mention here really quick here, as we're looking at this, notice how close the low pressure gets to the Carolinas here. That is probably going to bring some nasty winds like this. And this is right here Sunday morning, just as this ice and sleet and snow is cranking up. This is winds anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour as possible wind gusts. So it's going to be windy. And it's not going to be, it actually would, it might be good for certain areas. It probably will prevent ice accumulations from sticking as much. But I tell you what, this is, the wind is going to be a story people aren't going to talk about as much. And it's going to be kind of like last week, where you're going to have nasty winds, especially if ice can get accumulated in some of these areas quickly. And if it does, before the winds really come in, then you might can get a tenth, quarter of an inch of ice on these trees. These 20 to 30 mile per hour winds move through, and then it starts snapping tree limbs, and tree limbs start falling on cars, houses, fences, things like that. So be careful with this. That's all I got, guys. It's been an exhausting week. It's been a fun week, but this is definitely feels like a part-time job this week, and that's fine because the success has been amazing, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. I really do. Y'all have a great Friday, and stick with me this evening. I'll have you an update.